This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Madras High Court tells Amma she need not appear in a court in a defamation case filed by Stalin's son-in-law. This even as the Queen Bee of Tamil Nadu politics receives yet another death threat letter, supposedly from one of Alagiri's supporters. Cloned in the movie but pirated in the markets, police seize pirated DVDs and VCDs of the blockbuster Endiran. After a couple of dies due to an accidental fire in Arepuram, the police gives a clean chit to the couple's maids. LTT sympathizers plea dismissed. Sympathizers say hearing on the ban on LTT will be complete only if they are heard.
Government is wasting public money by constituting such tribunal. This tribunal cannot hear anyone.
Meet the new man heading the city corporation. D. Karthikeyan speaks exclusively to NDTV Hindu and says the city is absolutely monsoon ready.
I have said for myself and my officers.
A picture is worth 1,000 words and a poster worth 1,000 blessings. We tell you why Stalin looks like Karunanidhi's heir apparent. Well, it's been an action-packed day today. A very warm welcome to Late Night News with me, Ashmit Kumar. Let's also take a look at national stories hitting the headlines. Political crisis in Karnataka. 19 MLAs, including 4 sacked ministers, withdraw support. The BJP asked to prove its majority by the 12th. The Bangalore High Court declares the cab driver guilty in the Pratibha Murthy rape and murder case. Supreme Court reduces Santosh Singh's death sentence to a life term in the Priyadarshini Mattu rape and murder case. Victim's father is disappointed. The gold rush for Indian athletes at the Commonwealth Games continues. Indian shooting ace betters his Melbourne record with a stellar performance in Delhi. Naran creates new world record for 10-meter air rifle event. And Sachin Tendulkar's centuries garner him the ICC Cricketer of the Year award. Sehwag gets recognition for the best test player. Now, AIADMK General Secretary has received yet another death threat. This is the 10th death threat letter to Jayalalitha received by Jaya TV office from the Dindigul district. The letter writer claims to be a supporter of Union Minister Alagiri. This incidentally is the 3rd letter after the Tamil Nadu government relented and ordered the CBI to probe the matter. With claims of Alagiri supporters sending the threat letter, how will this impact the DMK camp? What will be the political repercussions of the opposition leader? To help answer these questions, we were joined in the studio by our senior correspondent, Peer Mohammed.
The Madurai rally of Jayalalitha is just about 10 days away. This death threat letter is received by the Jaya TV office. Now, looks like the particular death threat letter received from Vattalagundu in Dindigul district. Clearly, there is a mention of Alagiri's name. Now, I being a supporter of the Amudavel, one Amudavel who has written the letter, and he has identified himself as the first ward councillor in DMK ward councillor from that Vattalagundu area in Dindigul district, and said that if Jayalalitha goes to attend this rally in Madurai, she won't return alive. That is the message. That is the message he has been getting. The ADMK backed Jaya TV office has been getting since last 2 months, and this is again the same message but written by a different person. But they have filed cases with the Gindi police station, with the DGP and also with the city police commissioner. They should now look into this particular letter and find out if it is from a real supporter of Alagiri or somebody else.
And some more developments from the city. Madras High Court today exempted AIADMK General Secretary Jayalalitha from appearing in person before the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Court in Egmore in the defamation case filed by Deputy Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's son-in-law. On Friday, Jayalalitha had filed a quash petition against the summons issued to her. Sabarisan had filed the defamation case against the AIADMK chief for her public speeches in which she allegedly accused him of being an associate of Meenakshi Sundaram, the man arrested in the fake drug scam.
Honorable Amma challenged the summons as well as the proceedings pending in that case before the Honorable High Court Madras. That application came up for hearing before His Lordship R. Mala. The Madras High Court was pleased to admit that petition and also has given the exemption from the appearance of Honorable Amma on 15/10/2010.
Now, even as this case develops and takes shape, questions are being raised about whether such provisions are being used to gain political leverage over opposing parties. Can such provisions in the legal system be misused for political purposes? We took up this issue with Mr. A. Saravanan, a public prosecutor. Here's what he had to say.
In the present day politics, it is easy to throw slur on somebody else without any substantial record or any substantial evidence, without any basis. It has become easy and has become fashionable to throw slur on somebody. Right. So defamation is the only law which prevents them from doing it. Right. The law comes to their aid.
Right. Now, to talk about this in the context of this one case that we are following right now about Jayalalitha getting a reprieve from the Madras High Court. Now, to talk about this in terms of the Tamil Nadu politics, we know that when she was in power, she pressed a lot of these defamation charges against journalists. Now, would you say that it's boomeranging back on her with the opposition, with the incumbents actually using it against the opposition party here?
No, that is different. When Mrs. Jayalalitha was filed cases against, it was filed in courts. Hundreds of cases were filed. We can't compare that case with this case. This is a specific individual who has filed this case against Ms. Jayalalitha. So this can't be compared with that. And like the High Court has not stayed the operation, stayed the lower court. Just due to various reasons, taking into account various reasons, has just dispensed with their appearance.
Now, some other news from the city. Over 100 pirated DVDs of recently released blockbuster Endiran were seized by the Chennai Suburban Police. The Central Crime Branch of the Suburban Police raided DVD shops in Ambattur and Ayapakkam and seized over 5,000 pirated DVDs and VCDs worth 20 lakh rupees. Apart from Endiran, pirated DVDs of recently released movies like Boss A. Bhaskaran, Bana Kathadi and Ravanan were also seized by the police. These DVDs are sold at a price of 30 rupees each, while Endiran DVDs are sold at 60 rupees a piece. The two accused were arrested and were produced before the court. They have been lodged at the Poodle prison.
So we got some information about their sale of pirated CDs in Ambattur areas. So as per instruction of our suburban commissioner, our special party went to in Ambattur area. So we have searched 2 shops. There we got recently released movies like Endiran, Nan Mahanalla, Pana Kathadi, Bas Endra Bhaskaran. So total we are seized 5,000 CDs, all pirated CDs, and we have arrested 2 fellows, 2 accused, and the worth around 5 lakhs rupees.
Now, a tribunal has rejected calls to lift the Indian government's ban on Sri Lanka's defeated Tamil Tigers rebels, the LTTE. A judge who examined petitions from sympathizers of the group said they do not have the right to make the demand. Shabir Ahmed reports on this issue.
Petitions by these leaders which said the Indian ban on the LTTE was illegal and should be dropped was thrown out by a tribunal. Justice Vikramjit Sen ruled sympathizers do not have the legal right to make the demand.
Whoever comes over here seeking solace and succor to get refugee status, they are stamped as LTTE former activists or LTTE agents. இதுதான் நடக்கு. அவங்களை விடுதலை புலிகள் என்று முத்திர குத்தி அவங்களை துன்பப்படுத்துகிறார்கள்.
விடுதலை புலிகள் இயக்கத்திற்கு விதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிற தடையை அடிப்படையாக வைத்து இங்கே தமிழ்நாட்டில் எதிர்க்கட்சிகளின் ஜனநாயக உரிமைகள் பறிக்கப்படுகின்றன.
Not impressed, Justice Sen said the right to discuss the ban was restricted to the LTTE as a group or its members and pointed out no one directly associated with the separatists was before the tribunal. Tamil Nadu People's Rights Forum, one of the 2 groups which filed the petitions, described the ruling as a waste of public money.
The government is wasting public money by constituting such tribunal. This tribunal cannot hear anyone, because no member of LTTE, no office bearer of LTTE is in India. Okay. They know that. So they are wasting their money and time. They are cheating the public.
The tribunal will hold its hearing in Ooty on October 20th. The Tamil Tiger rebels were banned in India in 1991 after they were blamed for the assassination of former Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. In Chennai with Shabir Ahmed, Jason Dosh for NDTV Hindu.
Well, moving ahead, the post-mortem report on how a couple died in a fire in Arepuram and the scientific reports are out. The post-mortem report says that the 60-year-old man who died sustained injuries. The woman, who is patient and was undergoing dialysis treatment, died due to suffocation.
ராத்திரி நாங்கள் 11:45 படுத்தீங்க. 12:30 மணி போல இருக்கும். ஐயாவும் அம்மாவும் சாந்திமான்னு கத்தினாங்க. இந்த அம்மா என்னை எழுப்பிட்டுச்சு. உள்ளே போனால் இருட்டாக இருக்குது, ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியல, ஆவி அனல் வீசுது. ஐயோ பற்றிட்டு சொல்லிட்டு இந்த ஆளை சேர்ந்து அம்மா எல்லாரும் ஓடிவாங்களே, அம்மாவும் ஐயாவும் காப்பாற்றுன்னு கத்தினோம். பின்னாடி பக்கம் போய் எல்லாரும் ஓடி தான் அம்மாவை காப்பாற்ற முடியாது விட்டாச்சு. அம்மா நாங்கள் அந்த பக்கம் வந்து குச்சிட்டோம் கீழே.
Now, how will Tamil Nadu's political landscape look post-Karunanidhi? The writing, it seems, is on the wall. We'll tell you more about that on the other side.